Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're mapping out a truly fascinating and honestly quite distinct worldview called Lifechanyuan. Now, this entire system originated from one source, the founder of Lifechanyuan, Guide Shuofeng. It's this incredibly complex, paradoxical blueprint. If you're the kind of person who appreciates exploring unique philosophical structures, well, you're absolutely in the right place. Relying strictly on Guide Shuofeng's foundational texts, we're going to break down exactly how this whole system operates, what it demands of its members, and how it views its place in the world.
So here's our roadmap for today. First up, the vision of Guide Shuofeng. Then we'll look at the concept of being open yet self-contained. Third, becoming a Chanyuan celestial. And finally, purity over system growth. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1, the vision of Guide Shuofeng. Exploring the macro philosophy.
Let's dive right into this incredible claim. Shuofeng frames Lifechanyuan not just as some small local community, but as a completely unprecedented system. According to his texts, this organization literally claims to surpass thousands of years of human wisdom, existing science, and all current theological doctrines. No small feat, right? It presents itself as the ultimate integrated theory of gods, Buddhas, and sages. Essentially a perfect blueprint for how people can live in total harmony with both nature and society.
But you know, this grand vision actually translates into a highly structured path. It's not just abstract theory. Shuofeng lays out a very pragmatic, step-by-step route. It starts firmly grounded in the physical world, requiring members to first repay all worldly debts and completely sever secular ties. From there, it shifts gears into accumulating merits and perfecting what they refer to as life's non-material structure. And the ultimate goal? Reaching heaven. So it's really a step-by-step ladder climbing from the deeply practical all the way up to the highly spiritual.
Moving right along to Section 2, open yet self-contained, the organizational paradox.
Now there is a very deliberate tension between these two concepts. On the one hand, Shuofeng dictates that the system is entirely self-contained. The text explicitly states that they do not seek cooperation with the United Nations, any countries, political parties, or religious groups. They exist completely independently. But simultaneously, it claims to be an open system. Now that doesn't mean an open-door policy. Rather, it means they are intellectually open to absorbing new discoveries, specifically those grounded in science, logic, facts, and spiritual perception, as long as those discoveries fit neatly within their existing view of the universe.
This whole idea hinges on a core philosophical quote from the text. If we do not ask favors from others, then we will get along well with each other. I mean, think about how boundary setting works in our own personal lives. Here, Shuofeng is taking that concept and applying it globally. He aims for what he calls self-consistency. The underlying proposition is that total independence from outside organizations is the absolute key to harmony. By completely removing themselves from global politics and traditional religious structures, they basically believe they can eliminate the friction that causes societal conflict in the first place.
Okay, Section 3, becoming a Chanyuan celestial, the biological metaphor.
Shuofeng uses a really brilliant biological metaphor here. Individual members are defined as Chanyuan celestials. But they aren't just, members of a club. They are described as the literal, healthy cells that make up the body of Lifechanyuan. And just like any physical body relies on healthy cells to survive, this system demands that every single celestial functions perfectly to keep the community alive and well. Literally, if one cell becomes unhealthy, the entire organism is under threat.
To maintain this biological purity, Shuofeng mandates incredibly strict, uncompromising standards. Actually, becoming a healthy cell requires the complete rejection of conventional modern life. You must have zero secular ties or debts. You cannot be in a marital relationship. You have to completely strip away any arrogance or self-centeredness. And there's a strict prohibition against any sneaky or furtive activity whatsoever. It requires total, absolute transparency and a complete shedding of earthly attachments.
And the standards contain another really fascinating distinction. Despite the group's highly spiritual ultimate goal of reaching heaven, celestials are strictly forbidden from dealing with spirits, deities, or trying to predict fortunes and disasters. They also absolutely must not behave in an uncivilized manner, and they have to dedicate themselves entirely to Lifechanyuan. It's this incredibly unique blend, right? A highly spiritual endgame, but achieved through deeply pragmatic, heavily disciplined daily practice.
Which brings us to Section 4, purity over system growth, the ultimate standard.
Now, here is a truly striking organizational paradox. Just look at their approach to joining versus leaving. Lifechanyuan absolutely refuses to recruit, lead, or coerce anyone into joining. No handing out leaflets, no gathering crowds. The text insists a celestial must simply be born as such. Yet, while it is incredibly hard to qualify to stay in the group, leaving is completely frictionless. The community allows anyone to walk away without obstacles or guilt. If a member fails to meet those stringent criteria we just talked about, their celestial name is automatically withdrawn and relations are cut. Just like that.
30. That number represents a profound commitment to those standards. Guy Sufeng dramatically states that Lifechanyuan would rather stop developing altogether or even disappear entirely than lower its standards. To survive as a system, the text claims they need a minimum of only 30 standing celestials. They are entirely willing to sacrifice scale, growth, and global popularity, all just to maintain the absolute, uncompromised purity of that biological metaphor.
Ultimately, Shufeng's doctrine emphasizes an absolute binary. You must either follow the guide every single step of the way, or simply ignore the existence of Lifechanyuan and follow your own path. Outsiders are explicitly asked not to preach to them or judge them by traditional secular standards. It is a completely take-it-or-leave-it proposition. There's no middle ground, no negotiation, and absolutely zero desire to argue with critics.
Which leaves us to ponder a pretty vital question. If a community refuses to recruit, relies entirely on voluntary association, cuts ties with all global organizations, and demands absolute, uncompromising adherence to its standards just to remain a healthy cell, how does a self-contained ecosystem built on such strict purity sustain itself in the modern world? Is it a true blueprint for ultimate harmony, like it claims, or an isolated island in an increasingly connected globe? That is the fascinating question Guide Sufeng's system leaves us to consider. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.